Yeah, he played on time, in rhythm. Some of those explosive plays, like that flea flicker, blew me away because he obviously jumped, caught it one-handed, which was super athletic, and then drops a dime 65 yards in the air. So I think you see the...
When NFL legends talk about Caleb Williams, the conversation doesn't sound like the usual breakdown you hear about top quarterback prospects. It's different, sharper, more detailed, more invested. These legends have seen dozens of highly touted quarterbacks come and go, but the way they speak about Caleb hints at something deeper. They see him as a generational turning point, not just a talented college player, not just another first-round pick, but a quarterback who has the potential to redraw the boundaries of what the position can look like in the modern era.
I think if you maybe put him in a different position, a different situation last year, I think he could have been Rookie of the Year.
When legends evaluate him, they're not comparing him to rookies or even recent stars. They're comparing him to quarterbacks who reshaped the league. What they talk about first is creativity. Caleb doesn't play football like a traditional passer. He paints on the field. He plays with instincts that can't be coached and confidence that doesn't crumble when the structure breaks. NFL veterans recognize this immediately because they've played with and against quarterbacks who could improvise under pressure, and they know how rare that is. When the pocket collapses, Caleb doesn't panic. He escapes with patience, keeps his eyes downfield, and turns broken plays into highlight moments. These off-script abilities remind legends of players who dominated eras through improvisation, quarterbacks who made coordinators rewrite playbooks just to keep up. But what really gets legends talking is the combination of instincts and intelligence. Caleb doesn't rely solely on flash. He processes defenses at a level far beyond his age. He reads leverage, manipulates safeties, and understands timing windows like a veteran. Legends love quarterbacks who can think under pressure, who don't lose their fundamentals when the blitz comes, who use anticipation instead of raw arm strength. Caleb already does that, and while his physical tools are exceptional, elite arm, elite mobility, elite balance, legends say the scariest part is how quickly he adapts.
That kid is a flat-out baller, man. He is a difference maker.
First year at places that are rebuild places, like some of the owners, I don't understand. I don't think they realize when they're in a rebuild and when they can actually win now. That's what's going to be interesting about Chicago. Is I feel like everybody's going, oh, it's a win now team, But you have a rookie quarterback. Like, it takes some time. I hope it doesn't, because I like Caleb, but it takes time for places, and it takes time.
Each year, he's added new layers to his game. More pocket discipline, more anticipation throws, more controlled decision-making. To NFL legends, that growth curve matters more than the highlights. Another major talking point is leadership presence. Legends don't evaluate leadership through speeches or interviews. They evaluate it through body language, energy, and the way teammates respond. Caleb carries himself with calm confidence. Players around him tighten their focus. The offense moves with rhythm. Those are the intangible traits legends claim separate long-term franchise quarterbacks from short-term starters. They see that spark in him. And lastly, legends acknowledge something many casual fans overlook. Caleb is entering the NFL at a moment when the league is evolving. Defensive schemes are faster, more complex, and more disguised than ever. Offenses are shifting toward hybrid looks, spacing concepts, and improvisational freedom. Caleb fits that world perfectly. He isn't just entering the new era, he represents it. To put it simply, when NFL legends talk about Caleb Williams, they're not discussing potential, they're discussing possibility. The possibility of a quarterback who could redefine an entire generation of play. NFL legends break down quarterbacks differently than analysts or casual observers. They don't get fooled by flashy college stats or big play highlights. They look for traits that translate under pressure, traits that survive adversity, traits that elevate entire organizations. And when they look at Caleb Williams, they see a quarterback whose best qualities are the ones that carry teams for a decade. One of the biggest compliments legends give Caleb is his field vision. They say he sees the game in layers, not just reading defenders, but predicting how coverages shift based on movement, leverage, and timing. This is rare for young quarterbacks because college defenses don't disguise coverage at the same level as NFL defenses. Yet Caleb demonstrates patience and manipulation that quarterbacks usually don't develop until their late 20s.
He's competitive, bro. I'll give it to him. Like he was, he didn't back down. He kept getting back up and kept trying to make plays. And yeah, he definitely earned.
Legends praise how he uses his eyes to move safeties, how he adjusts his throwing platform to find new angles, and how he anticipates windows instead of waiting for them to open. Then there's the mobility conversation. Legends say Caleb doesn't run to run, he runs to extend the play. His speed isn't elite, but his balance, footwork, and body control are what set him apart. He slips tackles with subtle movements, resets his hips off platform, and launches throws with torque that looks effortless. These are traits the greatest improvisational quarterbacks used to become nightmares for defensive coordinators. Caleb isn't escaping pressure to create chaos. He's escaping to create structure out of chaos. Legends see that, and they recognize how dangerous it can be in the NFL. Mechanically, legends note that Caleb's throwing motion is compact, consistent, and efficient. His base isn't perfect every snap, but his arm talent allows him to compensate in ways most quarterbacks cannot. More importantly, he can make every throw on the field: layered touch passes, deep outs, back shoulder throws, tight window lasers. But legends emphasize that what makes him special isn't the throws themselves, it's the confidence to attempt them without panic. They say he throws like someone who has already learned how to trust his instincts. Another point legends highlight is that Caleb plays with emotional resilience. When a play collapses, he resets immediately. When pressure hits, he maintains calmness. When opponents punch first, he responds instead of crumbling. Emotional stability is one of the most underrated quarterback traits, and legends repeatedly mention that Caleb has it. They've seen talented quarterbacks fall apart because they struggled emotionally more than physically. Caleb doesn't show those cracks. He stays composed, even when the environment is loud and hostile. But the most surprising compliment legends give Caleb is this: he doesn't rely on talent alone. They say his game is built on preparation. He studies tendencies, understands defensive rotations, and learns from mistakes quickly. That combination, high talent, high preparation, high composure, is what makes legends believe Caleb could become one of the defining quarterbacks of his era.
I haven't seen him play badly. I think, he had some throws that I'm sure he would have wanted back, but that kid is a flat-out baller, man. He is a difference maker. He makes them better. His thought process, even just directing traffic and putting them in the right play calls in the right situation, he does a wonderful job of checking off and just changing things and getting the ball out of his hands. It was a pleasure for me to play against him and their head coach. I mean, that was fun.
Another major talking point among NFL legends is Caleb Williams' adaptability. Legends know the league is unforgiving, fast, and chaotic, and the quarterbacks who survive aren't always the biggest or strongest, but the ones who adapt quickly to new information. Caleb's tape shows constant adaptation, adjusting throwing trajectories mid-game, modifying footwork based on pressure patterns, and altering his decision-making depending on defensive rotation. Legends say this ability is what separates quarterbacks who flash potential from quarterbacks who become franchise pillars. One of the biggest fears legends usually have about college quarterbacks is whether their play style will translate to the NFL's tighter windows and faster reads. But with Caleb, there's less skepticism. They see a quarterback who thrives under pressure and who actually becomes more creative when the structure breaks down. They say this ability is reminiscent of quarterbacks who built their careers on extending plays and improvisation. But unlike pure improvisers, Caleb also operates cleanly in rhythm. He can hit timing routes, he can throw on one-step drops, he can handle quick game concepts. Legends appreciate that versatility. Another area legends discuss is accuracy under duress. NFL games are won on third and long red zone throws and late down situations, moments where pressure is unavoidable. Caleb's off-platform precision stands out because he maintains velocity and accuracy even when his mechanics are compromised. Legends know how difficult this is because most quarterbacks lose control when their base collapses. Caleb maintains poise and throwing consistency even when defenders crash the pocket. This is what gives legends confidence that he can handle the physical chaos of NFL pass rushes.
Caleb Williams, you worried?
Is he holding them back?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's the weaker part of the offense. Solid wide receivers. Got solid offensive line, got a really good running back. Yeah, I mean, he's got to play better. But I will say this though, they're winning football games, so yeah. I mean, yeah, I can't keep doing this with him. Yeah.
Legends also admire his situational awareness. Whether it's 2-minute drills, late-game drives, or end-zone sequences, Caleb keeps track of clock, down, and distance with a calmness beyond his years. Many young quarterbacks freeze or rush in these moments, but Caleb treats them like ordinary snaps. Legends recognize that trait instantly because they've lived it. They know that quarterbacks who can manage situations early in their careers often develop into long-term leaders. Additionally, legends comment on Caleb's ball security. While he takes risks, they say he rarely takes reckless risks. He chooses calculated aggression, challenging windows that he can realistically hit, not throwing blind into coverage. They appreciate that he doesn't rely on his arm talent alone. He pairs it with conscious decision-making. But perhaps the biggest thing legends respect is the competitive fire Caleb brings. It isn't loud, but it's present in his play. Legends evaluate competitiveness through effort, not volume, through how a quarterback fights for extra yards, how he bounces back from mistakes, and how he responds when defenses hit hard. Caleb consistently shows that competitive spirit. That's why legends aren't just impressed, they're convinced. They believe Caleb has the mental, physical, and emotional tools to thrive in the NFL's most punishing environments. And that's not something they say lightly. As NFL legends continue breaking down Caleb Williams, another theme keeps coming up: anticipation. Not the hype, but the anticipation in his throws. Legends value anticipation above almost any quarterback trait because it allows an offense to stay one step ahead of the defense. Caleb throws receivers open instead of waiting for separation. He hits windows before they fully develop. He reads leverage before the snap and adjusts ball placement based on how defenders shift. Legends immediately recognize this as a marker of advanced football intelligence, something quarterbacks usually develop after years in the league. They also emphasize his presence in the pocket. Some quarterbacks panic when edge rushers collapse the pocket. Others drift too deep, making pass protection impossible. Caleb, however, displays balance and footwork that matches veteran-level discipline. He steps into throws, steps away from danger, and resets quickly without losing situational awareness. Legends study this closely because they understand how critical pocket presence is for long-term success. Another thing legends notice is his ability to create angles. Many quarterbacks struggle when forced to throw around defenders or adjust trajectory late in the down. Caleb thrives in those moments. He adjusts his release angle to avoid batted passes, uses arm elasticity to change trajectory, and throws comfortably from unorthodox platforms. Legends connect this trait to quarterbacks who built their careers on creativity and adaptability. But what really earns Caleb respect is his command of tempo. Legends describe him as a rhythm disruptor. He can speed up the offense when needed, slow it down when necessary, and control the pace of drives with maturity. This trait is extremely rare for a young quarterback because most rely heavily on the play caller for tempo control. Caleb already shows signs of understanding when to push pace, when to delay snaps, and when to catch defenses off balance. NFL legends also highlight Caleb's communication, not through speeches, but through execution. They say the way he adjusts protections, checks into better plays, and reads defensive disguises shows a quarterback who understands the full scope of the offense. That's a sign of preparation, not hype. And preparation is what allows quarterbacks to take over games instead of merely participating in them. Finally, legends point out that Caleb plays with controlled emotion. He doesn't get shaken by mistakes, doesn't crumble when pressured, and doesn't overreact when things go wrong. This stability is what legends define as NFL DNA. Quarterbacks who have it tend to last. Quarterbacks who lack it tend to fade. Everything legends see in Caleb: anticipation, creativity, discipline, tempo control, poise, signals a quarterback built for long-term success. They don't view him as a college star entering the league. They view him as a quarterback already equipped with foundational traits that translate directly into NFL wins. At the end of every conversation about Caleb Williams, NFL legends arrive at the same conclusion. He has everything a modern franchise could want in a quarterback: skill, intelligence, composure, anticipation, mobility, and adaptability. But the part that truly excites them is the ceiling. Caleb's current level is already impressive, yet legends say his potential trajectory could be even more impactful. They see a quarterback who hasn't fully unlocked his powers yet. A quarterback who could evolve year after year, adding layers to a game already rich with talent and nuance. Legends emphasize that Caleb's future success will depend heavily on his environment. coaching, roster support, scheme fit, and development timeline. But when they evaluate pure traits, pure talent, and pure football DNA, they see a quarterback whose foundation is stronger than most prospects who enter the league. That's why the conversations about Caleb feel less like hype and more like recognition. Legends recognize greatness early because they've competed against it, played alongside it, and seen it rise firsthand. They don't guarantee success, legends never do, but they predict opportunity, they predict impact, they predict transformation, and they see Caleb as a quarterback capable of delivering all three. He has the rare ability to elevate teammates, energize a franchise, and create moments that define seasons. He has the potential to become the kind of quarterback who changes how defenses prepare and how coordinators design game plans. Legends also appreciate that Caleb's game isn't based on gimmicks or short-term trends. His talents are fundamental: accuracy, anticipation, pocket control, improvisation, intelligence. These traits age well. These traits evolve. These traits build careers measured not in years, but in eras. So when NFL legends talk about Caleb Williams, they speak with respect, they speak with insight, and they speak with the awareness that they may be witnessing the emergence of a quarterback who could define the next decade of football. If you enjoyed this deep breakdown, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more NFL analysis, quarterback deep dives, and football storytelling.